Are you considering a move to San Diego, California? Before you pack your bags, watch this video to discover the hidden truths about living in the city that no one is talking about. Trust me, the information you'll learn here will shock you and might even change your mind about moving to San Diego. Think that San Diego is just sun, sand, and surf? Think again. We expose the unexpected challenges and surprises that come with moving to this popular city. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear picture of what it's really like to live in San Diego and whether it's the right fit for you. Moving to San Diego seems like a dream come true, right? But there's more to it. Why? Because San Diego is not just one tiny speck in the map. San Diego, as we San Diegans tend to consider it, is San Diego County. It's not just downtown, the Gaslamp Quarter, the nice places where to dine and where to go and drink, but San Diego is comprised of different cities and different nationalities and different styles of living. So we're going to go through all of that here. What is the cost of living like in San Diego compared to other cities in California? Well, it's higher than the national average. In fact, it's one of the highest in the country, not just in the state, but in the country. So if you tend to be on the budget side of things, this is not the place for you because you're going to face a probably a average rental of one bedroom apartment with a small and limited kitchen for $2,300. That's going to be just the medium starting price, the average. So think about it this way. If you add another bedroom to that, and perhaps if you have a family and you add two more bedrooms to that, before you know it, you're paying $4,000 or $5,000 in rent. And this might not be the best case scenario for people who don't make as much. So housing is more expensive here than in other places in the country. Housing is more expensive here than other places in California even, because if you go towards, for example, the Inland Empire or Riverside, or you go somewhere else, you're going to find the housing is less expensive. Groceries and dining can also be more expensive. Last week, I paid, as a single person, only living by myself, $140 for groceries for 1 week's worth of food. So I know that people in Utah are paying less. I just had a conversation 3 days ago with my friend who lives in Utah, who, by the way, moved out of San Diego so he could find cheaper options. And he went to Costco and he was able to get beef, high quality beef, Costco beef, for the whole week for him and his wife for only $30. This is not possible here in San Diego because of the law of supply and demand. If more people are buying, they're going to raise the prices. And that has been the case for the supermarkets and the Costco's here. So transportation costs can also be high. And this is not necessarily due to the fact of supply and demand. This is just due to the fact that there's limited public transportation options. We do have a trolley. It runs from the U.S.-Mexico border, south of San Diego, all the way to La Jolla in the north, and it goes east all the way to El Cajon. But we don't have stops that run parallel or perpendicular to these main lines. This is just, I think, 3 lines: the blue line, the orange line, and the green line. And that's it. We don't have anything else that can take you for $1.50 or $2 to places in the middle, in between these trolley lines. So think about that when you're considering your move, and this is something that people rarely talk about. So what are the best neighborhoods to live in for families and young professionals? La Jolla is definitely my favorite. La Jolla is comprised of La Jolla Beach and then the section that's near UTC, and that's a little bit more inland. And you'll find that a lot of students live here, a lot of young professionals, and a lot of families. It might be towards the most expensive, more expensive part of San Diego, but it's fine because you get your value's worth. The other place that people prefer is Del Mar. This is North San Diego. This is where the county fair goes on. This is where we have a huge racetrack where you can go watch horses race, and there's huge beaches, beautiful places to go run, to go bike, to go hike, to go take your dog, to go surf. Beautiful place, Del Mar. Carlsbad is also in North County, and Carlsbad is close to Oceanside, which is where we have one of the biggest Marine Corps bases in the country. So a lot of people who live in Carlsbad tend to be military members, military families, people who live around Carlsbad. There's Legoland, there's the Carlsbad outlets, and the Carlsbad beaches, which are gorgeous. We also have Rancho Santa Fe in North County. You also find great pieces of property up here that are more rural, a little bit more with a farm vibe, with an outdoor vibe than what you'll find in South San Diego. Coronado is definitely one of the highlights. We love that island. It's next to downtown. It's connected by the Coronado Bridge. You can also access it through Silver Strand. You'll find the Glorieta Bay here, the Coronado Shores. This is a beautiful part of San Diego. North Park is also worth mentioning because North Park has this foodie, drinky vibe that is also complemented with really nice houses that were built back in the 1920s, 1930s. And you also are very close to Balboa Park, to Hillcrest, to great hospitals, to great universities, and just in general, a great part of the city to live in. Hillcrest, like I mentioned, is right next to it. A very cool place to live. Whole Foods is right there. You have access to the 163 freeway, access to the 5 freeway. You can also get to downtown fairly quickly. And if you enjoy the nightlife scene, Hillcrest is the place to be. Chula Vista is my crown and jewel. I say that because I grew up in Chula Vista, and I also grew up in the southern part of San Diego, which was considered national city, but Chula Vista still plays a huge role in the overall living situation in San Diego because a lot of people live there. How is the job market in San Diego? I've noticed that the thriving industries, thriving sectors tend to be tech and biotech. I mean, I guess I could consider biotech tech, but those two are just huge. We have Qualcomm here. We have big corporations that focus on biological research and pharmaceutical research. We have a growing tourism industry of people who open hotels, who open food establishments, who open bars. This is just the matter of Southern California. Southern California, including San Diego, LA, and Santa Barbara, are huge places for people who want to come and visit California. This is the main place, Hollywood. This is the main reason why a lot of people from other places in the country, and also, you guessed it, Disneyland. Disneyland is great, right? Everyone loves it, and it's in Southern California. So the tourism industry here in San Diego is also growing because of that. It's a strong military town. I'm a veteran, I would know. And I've noticed a lot of people who have moved here in the last 5 years, who have formed a family here, who have brought their families along, who comprise the community in San Diego. It's also a competitive job market with high demand for skilled workers. I would also want to include here that the jobs that tend to be for less skilled workers, people who don't have a college degree, people who don't have a high school degree, tend to be filled by people who are still Americans but live in Mexico. There's a dynamic here, an ecosystem of people who come to the US for work in the morning, and then as soon as they're done with their work, they go back and they commute across the country. So if you think that coming to San Diego and finding a job that is a non-skill job for non-skilled workers is going to be easy, it won't be as easy as if, for example, you went to another part of the country where you didn't have this dynamic going on of people who live in Mexico so they can save money in rent and groceries and all expenses, and then they come and work in the States so they can make dollars and spend in pesos. You don't have this going on in other parts of the country. So if you come to San Diego with no skills and tend to look for a job that's like a food service job or perhaps construction, etc., it's going to be a little bit difficult to find it. I just wanted to mention that fact. Housing prices are also higher, like we mentioned, and the strong demand for housing is leading to a competitive market. So, if you find a home in other areas of the country that you want to buy, you can probably negotiate to bring the home price lower. But here in San Diego, people know that the demand is so high that they're just going to tell you to go find yourself another home to put an offer on because they're not willing to negotiate. And that's just a matter of a competitive housing market. But there is a variety of housing options. You can find apartments, townhomes, single family homes, multifamily units, and you can also find mobile homes if that's the case. There's a growing market also in San Diego for luxury homes. And if you find a luxury home that's at a good price, call me because I would also like to know how you found it because it's really hard to find them. So keep that in mind when you're moving to San Diego. The weather is great, but what people rarely mention is that we still get rain and we still get cold weather. Yesterday was horrible. I repeat, horrible in terms of the wind. We get a phenomenon here called the Santa Ana winds, and these winds just come in and they make the whole weather dry and they just like knock down lampposts and they knock down trees. And it's an incredible phenomenon that happens around this time. We're filming as of November 7th, 2024. But if you think that it's just going to be a beautiful weather all year round, you're wrong. Some days will be extremely cold. Some days we'll get a lot of rain, and some days we'll even get some wind thrown in there. But mostly warm temperatures year round. It is ideal, however, for outdoor activities and beach going. The beaches here never get like frozen or anything like that, but you can definitely jump in and refresh yourself from the hot weather. What are some unexpected challenges of moving to San Diego that people don't often talk about? Well, there's traffic. Traffic during peak hours. If you find yourself in certain freeways at the wrong time, it's going to be kind of like the level of an LA traffic vibe. And people think that since San Diego is so spread out and people live so far away from each other, that there's not going to be a lot of traffic, but there is. So keep that in mind. And also, sometimes we get water shortage issues, and that's not cool because they're going to like limit the amount of water that you can use. Water is going to be more expensive, and so many things will happen because of the water shortage. So keep that in mind. The cultural scene in San Diego is cool. Obviously, we're next to Mexico. Huge Mexican influence, right? You're going to hear Spanish being spoken almost everywhere. If you go more towards the north, you're not going to see that much of an influence, but definitely anything south of downtown San Diego and even in downtown San Diego. So you might feel better here if you are of Hispanic descent and you will be surrounded with a lot of people that speak Spanish, right? We love people who come and they feel like they can contribute to the cultural scene in San Diego because we also have a lot of Filipinos. We have a lot of people from Eastern Asia. We have a lot of people from Africa. We have a lot of people from Europe, all melting in this melting pot that is San Diego. So we're welcoming of everyone that comes here. Growing food and wine culture. We have Escondido, which is big as far as vineyards, and anyone who loves wines can go and find year-round things that they can do that revolve around wine. Outdoor festivals, we have triathlons, we have swimming in the bay, running in the different streets, hiking up in the mountains. This is just a wonderful place to live at. And we also have hidden gems for tourist attractions that people might not know about. The Torrey Pines State Reserve, for example, is beautiful. Is It's a well kept part of La Jolla, where people can go and they can hike down to Black's Beach. And next to it, we have one of the best golf courses in all the country, called Torrey Pines. Torrey Pines Golf is beautiful year round. We have a major PGA tournament there. It's the home of the Farmers Insurance Open. So if you like golf, this is a great place. The La Jolla Cove is beautiful. You can snorkel there, you can kayak there, you can stand up paddle there, or you can just go and take really nice photos of you and your family. Sunset Cliffs is beautiful for watching the sunset, for watching the sunrise, for having a picnic right next to the beach. Balboa Park is full of museums and full of green spaces where you can walk around. Old Town is one of the hidden gems because it has some of the best Mexican food restaurants, some of the best sushis, and just overall historical part of San Diego that people rarely think about. And the Cabrillo National Monument near Point Loma is beautiful. Home also of the Veteran Cemetery, which is amazing and gorgeous to experience if you haven't done so yet. So, in conclusion, San Diego offers a high standard of living with its mild climate, abundance of outdoor activities, growing job market, and thriving cultural scene. However, it also comes with a high cost of living and a competitive real estate market. While it's definitely a desirable place to live, it's important to keep in mind the limited public transportation options and traffic congestion. Ultimately, San Diego stands out among other cities in California and offers a unique and exciting quality of life, but it's up to each individual to weigh the pros and the cons and determine if it's the right fit for them. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave any question in the comments, give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and we'll see you in the next video.